Welcome to the iHistory channel, where we delve into the fascinating stories of our past and present. Today we explore the Hikikomori phenomenon in Japan. In the heart of bustling and vibrant Japan, a quiet phenomenon has been unfolding. A portion of young people, predominantly men, are choosing to isolate themselves from society in a way that is both intriguing and concerning. This phenomenon is known as Hikikomori. The term Hikikomori is a Japanese word that translates to pulling inward or being confined. It is used to describe individuals who withdraw from society, often seeking extreme degrees of isolation and confinement. This self-imposed isolation can last for months, years, or in some cases even decades. To be considered a hikikomori, an individual must have remained in isolation for a period of at least 6 months without integrating into society, such as going to school, work, or even interacting with friends and family. While the concept of social withdrawal is not unique to Japan, the scale and nature of the hikikomori phenomenon present a unique cultural and societal challenge. The reasons behind this self-isolation are complex and multifaceted, often rooted in personal, familial, and societal pressures that can feel overwhelming to the individual. The consequences of this phenomenon extend beyond the individuals involved. It reverberates throughout families, communities, and the broader Japanese society, prompting a range of responses from concern and confusion to empathy and action. As we journey through this exploration, we'll delve into the intricacies of the hikikomori phenomenon. We'll examine its causes, from societal pressures to mental health issues. We'll look at the ways it impacts Japanese society and culture, and how the country is responding to this issue. From psychologists and sociologists to ordinary citizens and the hikikomoris themselves, we'll hear a variety of perspectives on this complex issue. We'll also explore what the future may hold for the hikikomori phenomenon and the individuals it affects. Join us as we delve into the intricacies of hikikomori, its causes and impacts on Japanese culture. To understand the hikikomori phenomenon, we need to define it properly. The term hikikomori is a Japanese word which literally translates to pulling inward or being confined. In a sociological context, it refers to individuals, usually adolescents and young adults, who withdraw from social life, often seeking extreme degrees of isolation and confinement due to various personal and social factors. The Japanese Health, Labor and Welfare Ministry defines hikikomori as individuals who refuse to leave their parents' house, do not work or go to school, and isolate themselves from society and family in a single room for a period exceeding 6 months. However, the phenomenon is not merely about physical seclusion. It's also characterized by social withdrawal and a refusal to participate in society in a normative way. Hikikomori is not a clinical diagnosis, but a societal one. It doesn't necessarily imply a mental illness, even though many hikikomori individuals can also suffer from conditions like depression or anxiety. Importantly, not everyone who is socially isolated or reclusive can be classified as a hikikomori. The phenomenon is unique in that it involves a complete and prolonged retreat from all forms of social engagement, not just a preference for solitude. It's crucial to note that while the phenomenon is most widely recognized and studied in Japan, it's not exclusive to this country. Cases of hikikomori-like behavior have been reported in various cultures across the globe, suggesting that it might be a more universal social issue than initially believed. In a nutshell, hikikomori describes a state of self-imposed alienation where an individual opts to be in seclusion, cutting off contact from society and leading a life of extreme isolation. It's a complex and multifaceted phenomenon that can't be explained by a single factor, but rather a web of interconnected social, psychological, and cultural elements. Now that we understand what hikikomori is, we can explore its origins and causes. The causes of hikikomori are manifold and complex. It's not a straight line from A to B, but rather a tangled web of interconnected factors, each feeding into and off of the other. Let's delve into this labyrinth, shall we? First off, we have societal pressure. Japan is often painted as a society of conformity, where the nail that sticks out gets hammered down. The pressure to fit into this societal mold can be immense. It's like living in a glass house with the world watching your every move. Any deviation from the norm becomes a source of shame, not just for the individual, but for their family as well. This constant scrutiny can be overwhelming, and for some, the easiest solution is to retreat from society entirely. Next, we have educational stress. Japan's education system is notoriously rigorous, with a heavy emphasis on rote learning and high-stakes testing. From a young age, students are conditioned to equate their self-worth with their academic performance. Failure is not an option. The pressure to succeed can be suffocating, and for those who can't keep up, isolation can seem like the only escape. Thirdly, family dynamics play a significant role. In many cases, hikikomori are supported by their families, who provide them with food, shelter, and other necessities. While this may seem like an act of kindness, it can inadvertently enable the behavior, making it easier for the individual to withdraw from society. Moreover, some families may prefer to hide their hikikomori children from the public eye rather than seek help, further entrenching the isolation. Lastly, but certainly not least, are mental health issues. Many hikikomori suffer from conditions such as depression, anxiety, and social phobia. These conditions can make it difficult for them to engage with the world around them. However, mental health is still a taboo topic in many parts of Japan, and those suffering from mental illnesses often face discrimination and stigma. This lack of understanding and support can push those struggling with mental health issues further into isolation. As you can see, the causes of hikikomori are intertwined in a complicated dance, each one feeding into and amplifying the others. It's a cycle of pressure, stress, and isolation that's incredibly difficult to break. But it's important to remember that each hikikomori is an individual with their own unique circumstances and experiences. There's no one-size-fits-all explanation for why this happens. With these factors in mind, we can see how hikikomori is not just a personal issue, but a societal one. It's a symptom of broader societal issues, a cry for help that's all too often ignored. By understanding the causes of hikikomori, we can begin to address the problem and hopefully start to break the cycle of isolation. The hikikomori phenomenon has far-reaching implications for Japanese society. As we delve into the impact of hikikomori, it's important to consider its effect on three major areas: the economy, family structures, and the social fabric of Japan. Let's start with the economy. Japan, like many developed countries, is facing an aging population. With an increasing number of older people and a decreasing birth rate, the country is heavily reliant on its working-age population. However, when young people choose to isolate themselves as hikikomori, they're often not participating in the workforce. This means there are fewer people to support the economy and the aging population. The economic implications are significant: less productivity, lower consumer spending, and a reduced tax base, all of which can lead to slower economic growth. Now let's move on to the impact on family structures. In traditional Japanese families, it's common for several generations to live together. This means that parents and often grandparents are the ones bearing the brunt of the hikikomori phenomenon. They're not only dealing with the emotional burden of having a child who's isolated, but also the financial strain. Many parents are forced to work longer hours or even delay retirement to support their hikikomori child. This places a significant strain on the family unit and can lead to a host of other social issues. Finally, let's talk about the social fabric of Japan. Japan prides itself on its sense of community and social cohesion. However, the hikikomori phenomenon threatens this harmony by creating a segment of the population that is disengaged and disconnected. This disconnection can lead to an increase in mental health issues, not only for the hikikomori themselves, but also for their families. Furthermore, it can contribute to a sense of social fragmentation and a loss of shared values and common purpose. The hikikomori phenomenon is not just an issue for the individuals who are living in isolation. It's a societal issue that affects everyone. From the economy to family structures to the social fabric of Japan, the impacts are far-reaching and profound. It's a complex problem that requires a multifaceted approach to solve. It's important to remember that the hikikomori are not just statistics or a social issue to be solved. They're individuals, each with their own story and their own struggles. As we continue to explore this phenomenon, it's crucial to keep this human element at the forefront of our minds. The effects of hikikomori ripple out, affecting not just the individuals, but the entire nation. Thank you for watching the video. Subscribe to the iHistory channel, like and share. Also, don't forget to activate the notification bell. Given the scale of hikikomori, it's no surprise that Japanese society and culture have responded in various ways. To comprehend the magnitude of the Hikikomori issue, one must observe the myriad of responses it has invoked within Japanese society. The government, aware of the gravity of the situation, has taken initiatives to address the problem. They've introduced measures like counseling services and support centers to help those suffering from Hikikomori. However, the road is not as smooth as it may seem. Many Hikikomori resist such interventions, viewing them as an intrusion into their self-imposed isolation. It's a complex issue that requires a delicate, patient approach. Societal attitudes towards Hikikomori are as multifaceted as the issue itself. Some view it with sympathy, understanding the pressures that might push a young person into such isolation. Others, however, view it with judgment, seeing it as a failure of the individual to conform to societal norms. In many ways, the Hikikomori phenomenon has become a mirror reflecting the tensions within Japanese society. It has sparked debates about societal pressures, the education system, and the role of the family, revealing deep-seated anxieties about the future. The portrayal of Hikikomori in Japanese media and popular culture is equally telling. It's often depicted in manga and anime, the country's most popular forms of entertainment. These portrayals range from empathetic, nuanced depictions that seek to understand the Hikikomori experience to more sensationalized, stigmatizing portrayals. In some respects, the Hikikomori phenomenon has become a part of the cultural fabric. It's a topic of conversation, a subject of study, a theme in art. And while this visibility has arguably helped in drawing attention to the issue, it has also risked trivializing it, turning it into a cultural curiosity rather than a serious social problem. The cultural responses to Hikikomori are as diverse as the individuals who experience it. They reflect the complexities of a society grappling with a modern dilemma. These responses reflect a society grappling with a modern dilemma. The Hikikomori phenomenon, while uniquely Japanese, offers lessons for us all. As we gaze into the future, it's clear that the Hikikomori issue is not one that will simply vanish overnight. It's a deeply embedded societal concern, rooted in a mix of economic, cultural, and personal factors. And as we're about to see, addressing it requires a holistic approach, one that extends beyond Japan's borders. The first step is acknowledging the problem. Japan has made significant strides in this regard, with government programs and non-profit organizations dedicated to assisting the Hikikomori population. These initiatives aim to reintegrate Hikikomori back into society gradually through counseling and therapeutic activities. However, progress is slow and the road towards a Hikikomori-free society is long and winding. Looking ahead, technology may play a crucial role in solving the Hikikomori issue. We are already witnessing the impact of virtual reality and online communication platforms in mitigating social isolation. These tools could be harnessed to create safe, controlled environments for Hikikomoris to interact with others, thereby reducing the anxiety associated with face-to-face interactions. At the same time, we mustn't ignore the elephant in the room, the need for societal change. Japan's rigid social structures and high-pressure education system are often cited as key contributors to the Hikikomori phenomenon. Addressing these root causes is paramount, and it requires a collective effort, from government policies to societal attitudes. But what does the future of Hikikomori mean for the rest of the world? Well, while the Hikikomori phenomenon is distinctly Japanese, similar trends are emerging elsewhere. In the United States, for instance, there's a growing number of basement dwellers, young adults who, like Hikikomoris, isolate themselves in their parents' homes. Similarly, South Korea is grappling with its own version of Hikikomori, known as Hikikomori Korea. These examples suggest that the Hikikomori phenomenon could be a harbinger of a broader global trend, one that reflects the challenges of modern life. The pressures of success, the rise of technology, and the erosion of traditional community structures are global phenomena. They affect us all, albeit in different ways. In this light, the lessons from Japan's Hikikomori issue are invaluable. They remind us of the importance of mental health, the need for societal flexibility, and the role of technology in shaping our lives. They prompt us to question our own societies and to seek solutions that respect individual differences while fostering social cohesion. As we continue to navigate the complexities of modern life, understanding Hikikomori helps us to better comprehend the human response to societal pressures. Thank you for watching the video. Subscribe to the iHistory channel, like and share. Also, don't forget to activate the notification bell.